All right, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the session, Value Stream Thinking, the next phase of DevOps. It's humbling to see so many folks joining this call. And we were just chatting earlier that the challenge for us as speakers and participants in this session is to make sure that you take away things that are valuable for you and that you can apply at work from day two. Today, joining me are some eminent speakers with value stream skills well tested in the field, coming both from a sort of startup world plus enterprise world. So let me start off by quickly introducing the speakers, and then I will lay out the format for this discussion, and we will get the conversation going. So you see Laksh to my left here, and Laksh comes from the UK. She is with Bitrise, a mobile DevOps company, and was previously with TaskTop, and worked as part of the value stream consulting practice there. So she brings both the sort of consulting perspective as well as now being in the field with a startup that's focused on mobile and DevOps related work. And then we have Gurpreet, who comes from Capgemini. Gurpreet works with a lot of large, complex enterprises, and so it'll be interesting to hear from him and his perspective and the experiences from the field. Similarly, Jagdish comes from Deloitte, a lean, agile DevOps practitioner. Again, a lot of fresh perspectives, validated perspectives that all of these speakers bring to the audience here. So a warm welcome to you folks. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much.
As a way of quick introduction, my name is Irfan Sharif, as stated there. I work with DASA as a research director. In addition, I do consulting and contracting work in the technology space. So Agile DevOps value stream is near and dear to me, and I'm extremely honored to have this privilege of hosting these folks here. So in terms of the format, folks, what we are going to do is we're going to focus on two broad themes. One is around the investments folks have been making in automation, in CI/CD, to address the sort of last mile of delivery. And that has been an ongoing investment. But as we have seen and as reports have validated, folks are not getting the benefits, or the organizations are not seeing the benefits from these investments. So we want to investigate what's the story behind the story, what's going on here, and how can we sort of move the sort of conversation beyond just automation to understand the human aspects and what else is going on there, so that organizations and teams can reap the benefits of the investments they're making in things like CI/CD or infrastructure as code and automation. So that is the first theme that we want to cover off. The second theme relates to engaging the business. This is increasingly an important focus at a C-level, at a board level, to start seeing the value of fast delivery and time to market. So how do we engage the business, and how do we elevate the conversation to go beyond what the business understands as value, and to bring a tighter integration between technology and business. So that's the second theme. So with that in mind, I will also encourage the participants to please post your questions as we go along. And there's a lot of knowledge you can mine from these speakers, so don't feel shy. Please go ahead and pose your questions, and we will have a robust and an interesting conversation, and with practical tips that you can take away. With that said, let me go around the room, and in addition to the introduction I provided, I invite each of you to state very briefly about yourself and some of the recent work that you've been doing around Agile DevOps and value stream management, and then we'll kick off the discussion. Does that sound good?
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give the honor to Laksh to start off the introduction. Laksh.
Thanks, everyone. Really excited to be here. I come from a bit of background in value stream consulting, but I'm a product person at heart, and building products is where my passion is, and value stream thinking has helped me along the way, and that's sort of where my interest is.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, product and value streams are tied at the hip, and it's like the product is value stream is how you realize the value from your product and all the work that goes into shaping it. So it's fantastic to have that perspective there, Laksh.
Exactly.
All right, maybe Jagdish, if you can give a quick introduction.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Agile DevOps transformation leader with diverse experience across Fortune 100 corporations. I am outcome oriented and pragmatic with over 3 decades of consulting experience. I've been responsible for business development, engagement delivery, and thought leadership. I've been managing a multi-million dollar portfolio across my clients. Being in consulting for that long, I have developed a skill to look at from the customer point of view. And today, I feel privileged to be part of this keynote session. I'm grateful to DASA Connect organizers for this opportunity to present value stream thinking, the next phase of DevOps.
Right, and thank you, and Jagdish brings, as he said, the customer point of view, and over his years of experience, it's really invaluable to have that customer perspective and reiterating that in the context of value stream. So welcome, Jagdish. And over to you, Gurpreet.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Gurpreet Sachdeva. Uh, it's a pleasure today to speak on the value stream topic in the DASA Connect forum. I'm a cloud and DevSecOps practice leader, work for Capgemini India, and I'm based out of Gurgaon, India. Over the last many years of my experience, I have conducted digital transformation, DevSecOps assessment, and transformations for various different clients in different geographies and industries. And as part of that, I've really seen upfront, the kind of challenges they face, and even after when clients have moved on to the CI/CD bandwagon, they're not able to fully get the value out of their investments. And that is something which is very close to my heart, to make sure that our clients are successful in getting the true value out of their investments. And I'd be happy to share my insights on that topic.
All right, that's fantastic. And rounding off that perspective, we have one with Laksh with the product, and Jagdish from a customer point of view, and now we have with Gurpreet with deep expertise in cloud and DevSecOps, things that are accelerators to innovation, and while innovating, ensuring that security and compliance and all the non-functional aspects of delivery are taken care of. So it's great to have this diverse perspectives here. So welcome, Gurpreet. Looking forward to your input into this conversation. Just pausing a little bit here, I just want to take a look at the questions, if there's something that we can immediately address. Mouse for value stream shipping, and we can talk. All right. We'll weave this in the conversation here, and I'll begin with Gurpreet. And Gurpreet, we were talking about as the first broad theme relating to the investments that folks have been historically making now with automation, CI/CD, and with cloud now as infrastructure as code. People are making those investments, but they're not seeing the sort of value that comes out of this. They're not seeing the effects of that in terms of the fast flow of work. So from your experience in the field, and you have a lot of experience working with a lot of clients, what are some of the reasons behind this? What's kind of the story behind the story here? And what are some of your suggestions on how to address this? And perhaps tying into that sort of theme is a question that came from Seema, is around the role of value stream mapping and whether it's kind of a prerequisite as a must-have for value stream management. So if you can kind of roll all that into the question here, how do we extract value from our investments is the question.
Yeah, sure, Irfan. I think as I mentioned in my introduction also, we have seen clients, customers, doing a lot of investment in terms of their cloud migration, their DevSecOps, CI/CD pipelines, etc. And they have done some amazing transformations also, which help in driving efficiency and producing high quality software, etc. But on the other hand, there's still organizations which are struggling to know what is the exact value they are delivering to the end customer and what are the value they're getting out of their IT investments. So, and I think to Seema's question, one of the ways which I generally evangelize is that we should start using a value stream map. This is quite helpful in visualizing value streams in an easy to understand series of process steps. It's everything we do to create and drive a value so that we know what the bottlenecks are and then we can prioritize removing them. It not only measures what gets delivered eventually, but also what is the current state, what is the projected future state model, so that we can improve upon that. And it's an ongoing process. It's not static. Like it's not like you can do today and then just forget about it. It's a continuous process. If you want, you can go for some kind of tools also which are available in the market, or keeping it very simple, you can just do whiteboarding. You can do on a PowerPoint, etc. And it is a very powerful mechanism to see how what is the flow of different work items that are going on, and what is the value eventually you get out of it, what kind of bottlenecks which are there, and so that you can that helps in improving those bottlenecks. Another interesting aspect which I've seen is that we rely too much on tools. For example, we have our epics, we have our stories. We will be using some tools like Jira or ServiceNow or whatever. And then even if we have some impediments, they're mostly stuck in some kind of put in some kind of a tool. So it's very hard for people to, different stakeholders, different members of the teams really understand what are the challenges and how things are flowing around. So I generally encourage people to take things out of the tools and put it into the physical world. So move from the digital to the physical world. Take help of sticky notes, charts, whatever. Create some good agile team collaboration rooms where you can put what are the kind of items you're working on currently, what are the challenges you're facing in, what is the value you're delivering on every stage. So this anybody can walk into the room, that particular area, and they can actually see how the work items are flowing. So that's my, I would say, another recommendations,
Right.
to kind of improve the value stream.
Mhm.
One more thing I would like to say is that we should start to, as we gain in maturity of measuring the value stream. So again, there's a maturity curve here also. So you can start using value stream management platforms. So there are various platforms available in the market today by
Wow.
different vendors. They can
I
focus.
think that's a deeper topic there, Gurpreet. I think in terms of it's a great point in terms of the platforms that are available, but certain things that I took away from your conversations, and I want to loop in Jagdish and Laksh into this is around the suggestion of fleshing out what is there in the tools or buried in the tools and making it more visible through value stream maps and how that will the visual representation of what's going on, how that'll be helpful. And two is, and maybe Laksh can talk a little bit from a tools perspective at the platform. She's got some experience in that area. So, and then we'll come back to the sort of second theme around business because there are certain questions relating to that. So, Jagdish, if you want to kind of bring your perspective on making some things visual.
Absolutely. Thank you, Irfan. While investing in automation and tool sets are great ideas, we have to look under the hood as to what is really impeding the flow of value. We need to bring in people, processes, and technologies together and implement the DevOps culture. What I mean by that is we need to follow practices very effectively, such as continuous integration, continuous delivery, configuration management, SRE practices, infrastructure as code, monitoring as a code. And in achieving that, first and foremost, we want to make sure that we visualize overall flow that should provide some guidance on where the bottlenecks are. We have to make sure that we stop starting new features and start finishing what's already being worked on. So in other words, we have to limit the work in progress. And also we had to have smaller batch sizes to make sure that our work in progress job could get done. we had to reevaluate all the cadence meetings, which we have been doing in a traditional sense. We have to reevaluate um, uh, what status reporting used to be in a traditional model and start coaching the leadership the new way of thinking. And also, we had to make sure that we have everybody represented. It's not just feature teams. We had to make sure that we have a cross-functional team of teams, which is represented by all the groups, architecture, infosec, quality, database, and operations, and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things that I would like to emphasize.
No, and the super points there, Jagdish, and just to recap what Jagdish mentioned, is around the importance of small batch sizes. That's a huge challenge itself. And the practices itself, following those practices, become a sort of a driver for change and the cultural aspects of it, whether the engineering practices, the management practices around making work visible. So great points, Jagdish, as well as the last point you mentioned around getting everybody involved in the conversation, just not the feature teams, but to take the end-to-end sort of delivery in mind. Great takeaways for the audience here. And just cognizant of the time, we are running against the clock here. So over to Laksh to talk a little bit about platforms in the context of value streams and maybe the value stream networks that are typically seen in software delivery. And then we'll try to round off with the business and how to engage them as the second theme. So over to you, Laksh.
Yeah, one thing I do want to mention before we delve into tools is you made a point. You basically used this phrase of we're at that last mile of delivery when we're optimizing within that CI/CD and applying DevOps principles, and that's very key because when you think about a customer lens, there's a lot that comes before it as well. And as Jagdish and Gurpreet pointed out, it's important to make sure that you understand what journey the customer takes, which means that you've probably started on the DevOps side, on the infrastructure side, or on automating your delivery, because that's where the initial bottlenecks were. But it's important that you keep a systems level view to see, has the bottleneck shifted or are you over optimizing in a silo in that delivery piece when you should be moving further ahead in that journey to improve flow for the customer. And that's where value stream maps will help. And whether you do it within a tool, whether on paper, it doesn't matter. As long as you continuously update it and see where the weight states are, you will know where that next bottleneck is and when you should stop optimizing in one part of the system and move to the other. To me, that's most important. How you get your value stream map is immaterial as long as it's always and constantly updated and gives you that feedback that you're putting all of your effort in the right part of the system and improving flow, as opposed to over optimizing in an area where the marginal improvements are not going to give you the desired improvements in flow, if that makes sense.
And I think you just made a good point that it's getting the faster feedback cycles that helps you focus on the right areas. And great point, Laksh. You want to make the difference where it's most impactful. So that's where you want to begin, right? And maybe with that sort of thing and keeping in mind the time that is available to us, maybe Laksh, we can start with you and just getting the business involved in this conversation and how we engage them in terms of understanding the flow of work and how the business can help in prioritizing items of value, both from a technical perspective and a business perspective. Any thoughts from your side on tighter business and IT integration?
Yeah, because if I look at something practical that folks can take, I think it's very important to make that work visible. A lot of times when we think about technical debt, when we think about risk, it's all hidden into feature work. Business understands feature work. So we tend to just show them the feature work. And I think what we need to do, and this is probably a practical suggestion to all those PMs, product managers out there, or staff plus engineers and architects, when you have roadmap discussions with your business counterparts, be it your senior leadership, your IT leadership, whoever that is, make sure your roadmap shows features and debt and risk separated so they can see them and they can see that you're allocating different capacity to each of those, because that's important. So they understand that there's investment going into that. The second part of it is you can't just show it, you have to articulate its impact in business terms. So when you look at risk has revenue protection value. So you have to be able to articulate it in terms of how many incidents is this going to cause? What will be the blast radius? Or how many customers is this going to impact? So you can have a meaningful discussion with the business to understand, is that a risk that they're willing to take? In which case you can move that capacity across or get that buy-in, right? So that's extremely important. So they're seeing that time and time again in those internal roadmaps when you're looking at what's being produced by the teams. Same thing with debt. You need to be able to articulate it in business value, and this is usually in terms of improvements, because the more improvements you make in debt, the faster your flow is going to be, faster features you're going to develop, and you might be able to articulate it in form of happy teams. Happy teams build better products. So to be able to put that out there is important, so you can have a meaningful conversation.
And great, thank you, Laksh. I think making that visible and being bold enough to have a conversation around it separately is the key message I took away from Laksh. And thank you for bringing that perspective. A lesson for product managers and other people involved in the delivery is to make that visible. Features, technical debt, risks, all these have to be visible. Over to you, Jagdish, maybe for your perspective, and then we'll round it off with Gurpreet.
Absolutely.
Minutes,
Thank you, Irfan. And to add to what Laksh mentioned, I want to bring everybody to the same page here. Let us be realistic about transformation journey. It is journey for all, including business. For some of us, the journey started a few months ago. For some of us, journey began a few years ago, and for some decades ago, right? So from the business owner perspective, we have to think from their point of view is that what are they thinking? What are they saying? So I recall back when business used to say, "Oh, I don't care about what methodology, what flavor of the day you are using. I want everything faster, better, and yesterday." Then they realized we cannot go back in time machine. So they started saying, "Hey, I want everything faster, better, and cheaper." And then they say, "Oh, that sounds very cheap." So then now they're saying is, "I want everything faster, better, and with a high predictability, so that I can manage the expectations for stakeholders as to when will I deliver, when will I deliver this, when will I launch something new." So we have to be speaking to them in their language. We have to give them the concept of minimal viable product. We have to give them concept of business value. Many of business stakeholders have a hard time kind of imagining the business value. So we have to have that business speak with them. That meaningful conversation is key to engage with them. And I know Gurpreet is nodding his head, so he maybe have something else to share.
No, and a great conversation. Just to wrap it up, there two key points away from Jagdish: predictable delivery and speaking in business terms. So for the audience, great takeaways. Thank you. And over to you, Gurpreet.
I just wanted to add on top of what Jagdish and Daksha stated that, whenever I see, there's a product for a customer, there has to be a value stream behind it. So, business and the IT investments, they cannot, be in a kind of a dichotomy. They have to exist together. So the idea is that a product manager is always interested in knowing that what is going to the customer and whatever features or enhancements which are being delivered to the clients, they are giving you, $1 for a particular feature, right? So if you're investing $1, are you getting $1 value out of it? So this way they'll be able to appreciate, the level of investment which is going on and the value which they're getting in return. I think if we involve the business leaders, the business groups in the daily conversations or periodic conversations, and keep them apprised about the flow of things, of the work items which are going on, they will appreciate, how their investments are, going and what kind of values, basically, the end customers are going to, kind of get out of it. I think these aspects which probably help in keeping a business focus of value streams.
Thank you. I think we are at end of time there, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happens next.
This is indeed the end. I'm going to close this session, and I hope to see everybody in the next one.
All right. And
Thank you so much for joining.
folks. Thank you, participants, for joining us. And if you want to reach out to the speakers here, feel free to connect with them on LinkedIn, or you connect with us and we'll put you in touch with them. But great contributions, and thanks for your perspectives, folks. Very valuable.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right. I think it's still up.
We're offline indeed. Thanks for joining.
Are we offline? Okay, we can speak.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About 70 people. They're still not there. They're not there, right? I still see 36 people. Oh, they're going down.
Yeah, but I think
Move to the next
we
one.
offline so we can. So thank you very much, folks. So very interesting sort of perspectives. Really appreciated the sort of value you brought into the conversation in a very brief time. So certainly look forward to connecting with you on LinkedIn and having this conversation because this is a topic that
Apparently we're still online.
So let's
We'll continue the conversation. I'll
we'll
happily
continue the conversation, but it was great having you. Let's keep the thing. We have an opportunity to make a huge impact through DASA, so let's try to leverage
Absolutely.
that. All right, super. Thank you once
Awesome.
again.
Irfan,
Thanks so much, and thanks, Irfan, for your help.
And great collaborating with you guys.
Yeah, certainly.
Bye, Jagdish. Speak soon.
Bye.
Bye, Irfan.
Bye.